Before we start the story, just stay with us for a moment. If you're sitting, get a little more comfortable. If you're lying down, just stay right there. Close your eyes. You don't need to do anything else. Just listen. This story isn't here to excite you. It's not here to keep your mind busy. We made it to calm you down, to gently guide you into sleep. We promise you, if you let the sound carry you, your breathing will slow down, your body will relax, and a soft, peaceful sleep will slowly find you. If you enjoy this kind of space, if you like falling asleep with a calm bedtime story, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. And if you're feeling the calm already, leave us a red heart in the comments. It means a lot to us and helps us keep creating more peaceful stories for you. Now, keep your eyes closed. Take a slow, gentle breath and let the midnight... It was midnight. Not the kind of midnight broken by car horns or streetlights, but a complete, deep midnight. As if time itself had paused to take a breath. The station was almost empty. Not truly empty, but quiet in a way where people seemed to dissolve into the space, and every sound, every step, every small cough felt larger than it should. I was sitting on a cold bench, the chill passing easily through my heavy coat. I had no suitcase. For this journey, you never really need one. The things you carry are always lighter and heavier than any bag. The large clock above the platform pointed to 12, exactly 12. Not a minute more, not a minute less. That was when I heard the train. Not loudly, not with screeching metal or sharp brakes. It arrived like a deep breath, as if something enormous had gently awakened. The train emerged from the darkness, slow and silent. Its lights were not yellow, not white either. They glowed like memories, not bright enough to hurt the eyes, not dim enough to disappear. Above the platform, a sign lit up. Midnight train. Destination? Nowhere. Nowhere. A faint smile touched my face. Not from happiness, but from recognition. It is always called that, no matter where you are, no matter who you are. This train always goes to nowhere. The doors opened. No one rushed. The passengers seemed to know this train waits. I stood up. My steps were slow, not because of hesitation, but because hurry has no meaning here. Inside the carriage, there was the scent of old wood and clean fabric. The seats were soft, but not sinking. They were made to support you, not to swallow you whole. I sat by the window. The glass reflected my face, but not clearly, not sharply, as if a calmer version of me was looking back. The train began to move. No jolt, no warning. The station drifted away, and then it was gone. The darkness outside was not absolute. It had layers, like thin curtains being slowly pulled aside. First, distant lights, then blurred buildings, and then something that was neither city nor nature. The silence inside the carriage was not empty. It was full of breath, of thoughts, of things that had never been said. There were a few other passengers, not many, not few. A middle-aged man with a worn hat had his eyes closed, but he wasn't asleep. You could tell. He was listening. A woman sat across from me, hands resting on her knees, gazing at nowhere in particular, as if she had been waiting for something for a very long time and had finally decided to stop waiting. A young man nearby held a notebook on his lap, a pen in his hand, but he wasn't writing. Some words must be forgotten first before they can be written. No one spoke, and strangely, no one felt alone. The train moved gently, so gently you could match your heartbeat to its rhythm. I took a deep breath. The air was neither cold nor warm, exactly as it should be. I closed my eyes, and for the first time that day, or maybe that year, I didn't hold on to a thought. Not the past, not the future, not even myself. There was only the sound of motion. Somewhere between wakefulness and sleep, a soft voice filled the carriage. Not from a speaker, not from any mouth. A voice that seemed to come from the train itself. Welcome to the journey. You don't need to know the destination. Just let the movement carry you. My lips parted slightly, not to answer, but to release a breath I had been holding for a long time. The train continued on, and for the first time, I felt that where I was going was exactly where I needed to be. When I opened my eyes again, I wasn't sure how long it had been. Minutes, maybe, or hours. On this train, time loosened its grip, stretching quietly, no longer demanding attention. The light inside the carriage felt softer now, not dimmer, just gentler, as if the night itself had settled into the seats with us. The train moved with the same steady rhythm, a slow, comforting motion that asked for nothing in return. Across from me, the woman's eyes were closed. Her face looked different, not younger, not older, just lighter, as if something she had been holding had finally been set down. The man with the worn hat shifted slightly in his seat, a small movement, but his shoulders dropped, almost imperceptibly, like someone realizing they no longer needed to stay tense. The young man with the notebook had written a single line. He didn't read it again. He simply closed the notebook and rested his hand on top of it, as though trusting the words to stay where they were. I leaned back and let my head rest. The seat supported me easily. No pressure, no effort. Outside the window, the darkness had changed once more. It no longer felt vast or endless. It felt close, protective, like a quiet room with the lights turned low. A faint mist drifted past the glass, moving slowly, as if it too had nowhere else it needed to be. The voice returned, that same soft, bodiless sound, calm and unhurried. The next station is not a place, it's a release. The train slowed, not suddenly, but with intention, as though it wanted us to arrive gently. When it stopped, the doors opened without a sound. Outside was no platform, no signs, no buildings. Only an open space, wide and quiet, covered in something that looked like fog, but felt warmer, almost kind. I stood and stepped out. The ground beneath my feet was solid, but forgiving, like walking on packed earth after a light rain. Others stepped out too. No one spoke, no one needed to. In the distance, there were shapes, not objects, but impressions. Old thoughts, unfinished conversations, expectations that had lingered too long. They didn't move toward us, they simply waited. The voice spoke again, closer this time. You don't have to fix anything. You don't have to understand it all. Just notice what you're ready to leave behind. I became aware of a quiet weight inside me. Not heavy, just familiar. The kind of weight you forget you're carrying until it's finally still. I breathed in slowly, and as I breathed out, I imagined setting that weight down. No force, no drama, just a gentle release. Something inside my chest softened, like a knot loosening on its own. Around me, the shapes in the distance began to fade, not disappearing, just becoming less solid, less urgent. The woman placed a hand over her heart. The man with the hat, as if he had been waiting years to do exactly that. The young man opened his notebook once more, tore out the single page he had written on, and let it fall gently to the ground. It dissolved before it landed. No one looked back. The train waited patiently, doors open, lights steady. When I stepped back inside, the seat felt even more welcoming, as if it recognized me. The doors closed, the train began to move. The voice whispered one last time, "You're doing just fine. There's nothing else you need to carry tonight." I closed my eyes. The rhythm of the train returned, slow and even. My breathing followed naturally. Thoughts drifted by, but none stayed. They passed like scenery in the dark, noticed, then gone. The train continued forward, and I let myself sink deeper into the movement, into the quiet, into rest. The train no longer felt like it was moving forward. Not because it had stopped, but because the idea of direction had gently faded. There was motion, steady and soft, but without urgency, like floating, like being carried without needing to know where. My body felt heavier in the best way, not weighed down, anchored. Every point of contact with the seat felt warm and supportive, as if the train had learned the exact shape of rest. The sounds around me blended together, the rhythm of the tracks, the quiet hum of the engine. Even my breathing seemed to merge with them, becoming part of a single, calm pattern. In this stillness, thoughts didn't disappear. They simply lost their sharp edges. Memories passed by slowly, like clouds drifting across a night sky, recognizable but distant. No need to follow them, no need to hold on. Across from me, the woman's breathing was deep and even. She had slipped into sleep without ceremony, without resistance. The man with the worn hat rested his head gently against the window. His reflection looked peaceful, as though it no longer needed to stay alert. The young man's notebook lay closed beside him. His hand rested loosely on his lap, fingers relaxed, finally still. The light inside the carriage dimmed slightly, not suddenly, but slowly, like the world turning down its volume. Outside, there were no longer shapes or mist, only a deep, velvety darkness, soft and endless, like a blanket spread carefully over everything. The voice did not return this time. It wasn't needed. The train understood silence now, and so did I. I became aware of my breath again, how it entered quietly and left even more quietly. No effort, no instruction. With every breath out, my body sank a little deeper into comfort. Shoulders loosening, jaw unclenching, forehead smoothing. There was nothing left to process, nothing to remember, nothing to prepare for. The night had taken over the work. Time stretched and softened. Moments blended together until they no longer needed names. Somewhere far ahead, or perhaps nowhere at all, the train continued its gentle journey, and I continued resting within it. If sleep hadn't already arrived, it hovered close now, patient, kind, unrushed. I let my awareness fade naturally, like a light slowly dimming until it no longer needed to shine. The last thing I noticed was the feeling of being held by the seat, by the motion, by the quiet certainty that everything was exactly as it should be. And then, without effort, without thought, sleep came. Night deepened around the train, but it didn't feel darker. It felt fuller, as if the quiet had weight now, a gentle presence settling in. The train moved on, though movement had become an idea rather than a sensation. Like drifting in warm water, aware only of comfort. My body barely registered itself anymore. Hands rested where they had fallen. Legs were heavy and still. Breathing flowed in a slow, natural rhythm, each breath softer than the one before. Thoughts came less often now. When they did, they arrived without stories, without meaning, just fragments, a color, a sound, a feeling, then gone. The carriage felt larger somehow, as if its walls had gently widened to make more room for rest. The lights were low, barely more than a glow. Not enough to see clearly, just enough to feel safe. Outside, there was no scenery anymore, no passing darkness, no horizon. Only depth, a quiet, endless depth that asked for nothing. I was no longer watching. I was simply there. The woman across from me shifted slightly in her sleep, then became still again. Her breath matched the rhythm of the train, as though both were following the same invisible guide. The man with the worn hat exhaled slowly, exhales slowly. A long breath out, the kind that releases something very old. The young man stirred once, then relaxed completely, his face smooth and calm, free of effort. No one needed words now. No one needed direction. Even the idea of later felt distant, unnecessary. Time no longer moved forward. It rested. And in that resting time, the body knew what to do. Muscles softened further. Awareness dimmed gently, like a lamp turned low enough to glow without lighting the room. There was no edge between waking and sleep anymore, only a gradual blending. The train continued, or perhaps it didn't. It no longer mattered. What mattered was the sense of being carried, securely, quietly, without interruption. Breath in, breath out. Each one slower, each one lighter. The night wrapped itself closer, not to hide, but to hold. And somewhere within that holding, sleep settled fully. Deep, steady, and kind. The train continued, softly, steadily. There was no sense of distance anymore, no beginning, no end. Only the gentle idea of motion. Breathing happened on its own now. Slow in, slow out. No effort, no intention. The body rested completely, heavy but comfortable, still but safe. The seat held everything that needed holding. The night took care of the rest. Thoughts no longer formed sentences. They appeared as faint impressions, then dissolved before becoming anything more. A sound, then quiet. A feeling, then ease. Nothing stayed long enough to ask for attention. The train's rhythm remained constant, a steady, soothing presence, like waves far away, like a heartbeat heard through water. Time no longer mattered. It slowed, it stretched, it softened. Moments blended together until there was no difference between one and the next. Awareness drifted gently, like a leaf on still water. No direction, no destination, just floating. Breath after breath became quieter, shallower, easier. The mind rested. The body rested. Even rest itself seemed to rest. The night felt endless but kind, wide but protective. Nothing needed to happen, nothing needed to change. The train moved on and sleep deepened, layer by layer, without disturbance. There was no edge to fall from, no thought to return to. Only this slow drift carried gently forward, or perhaps nowhere at all. And that was enough. The train did not slow down, and it did not stop. Or maybe it did, so gently that there was no moment to notice. There was no announcement, no signal, no sense of arrival. Only a quiet certainty that nothing more was needed. Breathing continued, easy and natural. In, out. Each breath lighter than the one before. The body remained still, perfectly supported, as if it had always belonged here. There was no longer a listener, no longer a traveler, only rest. Thoughts had fully loosened their hold. They no longer formed shapes, they no longer asked questions. Awareness softened until it felt distant, like a sound fading far away. The night held everything gently. The train, the silence, the calm. Nothing asked to be remembered, nothing asked to be understood. The journey did not end. It simply blended into sleep. And somewhere, without words, without effort, you were already there, safe, still, resting.